we're at 5 points. That's Montgomery and Lancaster. Let's see if I can show it here. Okay, we've got Camp Bowie going one direction. We've got Montgomery going the other direction. We have Lancaster going the other direction, and then the theater district, which peels off here for 5. It's 5 points. Montgomery, Camp Bowie, Lancaster, I think west and east or something like that. And then this is the Community Arts Center, also known as Arts Center Fort Worth. I lived right down the road from that Arts Center, right on the other side of Kimball. I'm gonna go by it in just a minute. That's actually a taxi right there. This is Kimball Art Museum at night. It's pretty cool. I used to jog right through there where the piano pavilion was. I used to pretend like I was in like a Vietnam movie or something. I'd run through those trees really quick. This is probably when I was in my early 20s or mid 20s. There was Casa. I lived right next door to Casa. Didn't really do any major Casa shows. I did audition though from Les Mis. I guess you could call some of the Broadway shows that would come through, I would audition for, because you could get your equity card, but I have mine. Well, I have equity membership candidacy. This is the Kimball. I got that from the Dallas Children's Theater. Not that, but the equity membership. It's an EMC. Remember, you're a member of equity, but if you have to, you want to pay the $3,000, then you pay the $3,000, and then you have your basically equity. Texas is highly against it. They're highly against any type of union. Even if it's for actors, they're just against it. This is where my old apartments were. I lived about right there. Right on Darnell Street. Sorry, I'm human. Free admission every Friday, open until 8 p.m. I might can go there and do some vlogs. Cafe Modern is there. You can get a coffee, sit down. There's a huge backyard on the side where they have a thing called, I call it Brainstorm, but it's called Conjoined. Right there, have committed crimes. So the cops that are patrolling, they have committed crimes. They'll be punished for it in hell. It'll happen. Because they're the Pharisees and Sadducees. They are the ones that Jesus came back to talk to and say, well, why don't you be forgiving? Why don't you put away your sidearm and your badge and learn to forgive other people? Why don't you be forgiving and let them be human? Because when they killed George Floyd, the guy acted like a robot. Miss Saigon and High School Musical. High School Musical, April 22nd. Miss Saigon is going to be in June. Come down and see it if you're brave. It goes for any movie star or anybody in LA that has any bravery in their bone. Because I tell you something, when they come into Texas, they start shivering with fear and sweating. You cannot go to heaven if you're not forgiving. If your job does not allow you to be forgiving, you will never get to heaven. It doesn't matter what you do. You have to learn to forgive in everything you do, or you'll go to hell. All right, we're picking up one at Uncle Julio's. They close at 11, so it's a late night Mexican food run. So get your Pepto-Bismol. We'll be there. The order's going to be in 2.9 miles. We'll pick it up in 6 minutes. We'll arrive at 10:21 p.m. in the Post-Meridian. We're on our way. If you come to one of my protests and you're a police officer in uniform, and we're the New Liberty Party, and we say, put away your sidearm, put away your badge, or you could be condemned to hell. Did you know that we have the right to say that? Yeah, I have the right to go up to someone and say, you could be condemned in hell. It's called freedom of speech. That's the number one thing you say to someone. Where are you going to go when you die tonight or tomorrow? Where are you going to go if you die next week? You're going to go to heaven or you're going to go to hell? Did you know you can be condemned to hell? That's what I'd be yelling out in the Torch of Ministries when they had the snipers on him to shoot him. Because he's wearing that stupid ash, that stupid net. the torch ministry. He doesn't need any symbols. He don't need Jesus Christ. He doesn't need a symbol. He's ex-Marine. He's an ex-military guy. Standing there, and they got sniper guns on him in the United States, in Washington, D.C., right there before one of the memorials. And they got snipers on him. And he's got his film crew filming him while these snipers about to shoot him, because that was all an act between the military to make the military look so forgiving. You know what I tell them? You know what I would have said out loud? You will be condemned to hell if you don't lower your rifles. You'll be condemned to hell if you don't put away your sidearm and your badge. You'll be condemned to hell, because that's what I'm telling you now. You will be condemned to hell if you don't put your badge away. You will be condemned to hell if you don't put away your sidearm and stop being a police officer. You will be condemned to hell. H-E double hockey sticks. And I have every right to say it because it's freedom of speech. If you come to one of my protests, you better drop your sidearm. You better raise your hands in the air and say that you surrender to Jesus Christ if you come to one of my protests. Because I have the freedom of speech, baby. You little punk, ASS, shamu, pig, cop, hog. Don't you ever say, Mr., or don't you ever say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am to me. Coward. Sergeant Donner's a coward. Yes, sir, is what you say to me. Only yes, sir. And you know what, Donner? It felt bad when you lost your job, didn't it? Because your superior is named Spivey. As in the same name as mine. I'm Cole Spivey. You're dealing with a guy named Wade Spivey. He's your captain. You better say yes, sir, to him. Because when you say yes, ma'am, to him, he's going to fire you for being disrespectful. That goes for any cop. But let me tell you something. When you come to my protest, you drop your sidearm and your badge, and you raise your hands in the air and surrender to Jesus Christ, because that's what's real. That's what real men do. Real men surrender to Jesus Christ. Amen. Hallelujah. You better. And you better say nothing but yes, sir, to get it right. If you make her mad, too bad. That goes for any woman that's out there. But me, I'm a man, and I'm a father of 3 children. David, Elizabeth, and Gwendolyn. Those are my 3 children, and I'm a father of 3 of them. Don't forget it. All right, we're going to pick up some Julios. Yes, sir. Yeah, I got the note. He was disciplined. Yeah, they disciplined him. He's no longer an officer in White Settlement, though. So now he can go work for Biden and all the cowards. There's Uncle Julio right here. Biden comes to my state, he better use only one word. Yes, sir. To me when he meets me. Yes, sir is the only word he uses with me. You're fired, Biden, for killing babies. All right, we're going to have to get this receipt to double check. So I got to remember. Yeah, it's got to have a price, or we can't do anything without the price, or the receipt with the price on it. I don't know why they did it. Every single place does it though, but I forget almost every time. So I got it that time. I say this show's a lot about sobriety. It's pretty much about finding sobriety. And when you're around an alcoholic, you become part of their abuse. And most of the people that go to Al-Anon are doing it because they're sober. They're already sober. But they have witnessed the toxicity or the toxic life of an alcoholic. And they have been harmed by an alcoholic. One of the major steps of the 12-step program is to call all the people that you've wronged and to apologize. Never in my life has an alcoholic ever called me. There's been some that have attempted to, and I know they're sorry and I accept your apology. But an alcoholic, their life is toxic. And it radiates off of their life into a sober person, and they have to go to Al-Anon. And I don't know what they tell you in Al-Anon. They probably say, look, it's not your fault that that person is an alcoholic. It's not your fault, you know. And if you enabled, meaning if you allowed them to buy the alcohol, then it'll affect you. You know, it's like handing someone a bomb and saying, go do it. Go do that bad deed. It's like when a police officer oversees another police officer kill somebody and they both go to prison. You got one police officer that oversees the other police officer beat someone to death or choke someone to death. Both police officers go to prison. When an alcoholic is involved in your life and you're watching them kill themselves with alcohol, whether it be beer, wine, strong drink like liquor, whatever it may be, and you're watching them do it, that'll affect you in a negative way. You don't want to put yourself in that company. Many Latinos, Native Americans, and I'm not going to blame all the African community or anything, but many Latinos have that problem in enabling alcoholics. It's very common in the Mexican community. And I know there's different nations involved. I don't want to blame race or anything like that, but I know that many Latinos have a problem enabling, and they also have a problem with alcoholism because of the Catholic Church and because of how they were raised. Now, when it comes to drugs, it's the same thing. Someone that abuses themselves with drugs. Another movie to watch that can help you if someone's abusing heroin is a movie called Kneel by Mouth. It was written by Gary Oldman. He's an actor. I wanted to use him, or I do want to use him, in a werewolf movie called Grace. John Cassavetes was mentioned because John Cassavetes dealt with alcohol and was probably an alcoholic himself and had dealt with issues of alcoholism the best that he could to try to find sobriety in filmmaking. It's not your fault if you enable. It's not your fault if you're an alcoholic. It's a disease that you have to live with. I do not drink beer. I do not drink cigarettes. It doesn't make me slow. I don't drink wine. That does not make me a slow person. I have a college degree. I know about Euripides. You may not. I know about all kinds of things that you may not know. I've studied stuff. I've studied the Bible, Old Testament and New Testament. I know things that you may not even have studied. But I know that alcohol is wrong, and it's wrong to allow someone to drink themselves to death. When I met Linda, she was drinking 15 beers a day, and she was gagging. It was killing her. She was waking up in the middle of the night gagging for air because the alcohol was killing her. It was killing her. It was abusive. It's toxicity. Legalism is toxicity because they enforce it. These guys right here, right there, they enforce it. They will enforce an alcoholic to drink. If you were to go to any police officer and say, hey, listen, my spouse is an alcoholic, I don't want her to drink, he would say, I have to enforce the fact that she can go to the grocery store or go to the liquor store and buy as much alcohol that can kill her and go home and drink herself to death. I have to enforce that. That's what the officer would say. I have to protect their right to buy as much alcohol as possible and drink themselves to oblivion. If you call a police officer and say, my spouse just bought a case of beer and is going to drink it all in one night, they would go, well, there's nothing we can do. But if they go in public, we'll arrest them. But they can go home in the privacy of their home and drink themselves to oblivion. There's nothing you can do about it. They will die. Alcoholism will kill you. My friend Megan, who was a dancer, and yes, she danced at Baby Dolls, but she also danced in ballet, and she was a ballet dancer. She lost her battle to alcoholism, and it hurts. And you want to blame other people. You want to blame society. You want to blame anyone that you can because you want to find a way to make it stop. And you pray and pray and pray, and you hope that God listens to your prayer because only God can help an alcoholic. You can't do it. Only a God. Only God. Jesus Christ is God. He's the God of the universe. And only God can help you stop alcoholism. Only Jesus Christ can prevent you from taking another drink of alcohol of any form. Because you will kill yourself with alcohol. And I hope you baptize yourself before you do it. Because it'll surely kill you. The reason why I talk about drinking cigarettes is because, you know, when you're an alcoholic and you drink that one beer that has the cigarettes in it, it's probably why I say that. But I do not smoke cigarettes. That's an important aspect of correcting, because I listen to the post. I listen to the videos. Now, I do not smoke cigarettes. I overcame that through prayer. I went to Maine and I prayed with a holy man and was able to overcome cigarettes. And it hasn't been easy. It has not been easy. I smoked for 6 years. I smoked Camel Silvers and I smoked American Spirits for a couple of years, the yellow and blue pack. And I still, when I go to the gas station, it's still difficult, but I can still overcome it. I don't like the smell of cigarettes. I don't like other people smoking around me. And like I said, if it's called for in the set and it's part of the scene, we'll work it out in a very theatrical way. We'll work it out in a very careful way. But if you come up to me and you're smoking a cigarette or drinking a beer and we're on set, you're fired. But if we're doing it to reveal, and I know there's many method actors, but if we're doing it to reveal something, we'll do it in a very careful way. You use herbal cigarettes and fake beer. There will be no real alcohol on set, nor will there be real tobacco products on my set, or you'll be fired. You'll be fired. If you come on my set with real tobacco and real alcohol, you will be fired. Or any drug. It's going to be herbal as in fake cigarettes, not as in marijuana. If you come up with marijuana, I'll have you arrested. I don't even care if I'm in California. I'll have you trespassed off my set. Now, I don't approve of any type of drug, not even really aspirin or Tylenol. I'll take it maybe occasionally, but that's about it. Maybe if I need aspirin. But I don't even really take that. I don't do any drugs. This is anti-drug. This is non-drug. Okay, I'm not talking about illegal drugs. I'm talking about all types of drugs. Illegal too. Especially illegal drugs, because they'll kill you quick. And so will the toxicity of it all. So finding sobriety is removing that cloud between you and God. So there's no disturbance between you and God. So God can clearly work in your life, and it takes time. The alcohol will prevent God from working in your life, and you will not do what God wants you to do. You will do what the devil wants you to do, and you will have to pay the price if you don't turn your life over and surrender to Jesus Christ. Amen. Now you know the type of director that I am. All right, I think this is it. Or is that 5,600? Let me double check. Rock stars, these glam rock stars and everything, they talk about looks that kill. Oh, she's got looks that kill. There's no looks that kill. Behavior kills. It's not looks. She's got the look that kills, all that stuff. That's just jealous alcoholics screaming in the air at the devil. It's not true. Looks don't kill. Behavior kills. Your behavior is what gets you put in prison. It's your behavior. Now, I want to say this. On this show, I am going to work on behavior because I have the right to reveal the truth in any circumstance. And if I was not revealing my true behavior, then I was not being honest to you, right? So we can change, right? As Christians, we can say, Jesus Christ, forgive me, help me change for the better. I prayed for Linda so many times. I've asked other people to pray because of her alcoholism. I ask people to pray because your behavior is never right when you're drunk. Your behavior is always wrong when you're intoxicated. It's never right. It's not right to be drunk. It says it in the Bible. You're condemned if you're drunk. You're cursed if you're drunk. Your intoxicity, being high like that, illegally high, or what you would say intoxicated, is a sin, and it's wrong and will be stopped. Now, I'll say this once and all. If you're found with a DWI in the state of Texas 3 times, then it's a 3rd-degree felony and up to 10 years in prison. It's also a $10,000 fine. And anything after the 3rd time, they can take your license. You don't get a lot of shots in Texas to drive drunk. I don't know about public intoxication. I don't know how they treat that. But I know that they're highly against driving while under the influence of alcohol. There he is. Look at that kitty. There he is. Look at that kitty. Isn't he something? Oh kitty, oh kitty. Yeah, we know you're cute. All right, I'm gonna have to get more cat pride. All right, kitty. We're gonna skip the cat commercial, but you're gonna get the cat food anyway. There's Kitty. He's just sitting by his bowl. I'm about to feed him. He needs to be on a diet, but he likes his food in the morning and at night. I'm pretty accurate about it. We're gonna give him a quarter of some wet food. Here's some of his dry right there. All right, Kitty, coming up. Look at that. Just sitting there. Look how good that is. Just waiting on your food. All right, we're getting him out that he gets for tonight. Now, really, to be honest, since he's on a diet, he's not gonna get all of that. He's gonna get a quarter of it. His next meal is gonna be Friskies. This is actually one that's just gravy forever. It's a chicken feast, and it's a grilled chicken flavored gravy. Hey, Kitty, do me a favor. Give him about a spoonful or so. I'll get about that much. Because he needs to be on a diet. Rolling with the gravity. We gotta find the cap on that. Rolling with the gravity. Here we go. Let's go. And take his other trays. And wash those up. I've got salad for tonight. All right. And welcome to the Please Subscribe Show. Y'all have a good night. Signing off. Adam's in New York. I'm going to watch some Superman. Richard Donner, he's doing a filming location in the 1978. I'll have to check the date. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Maybe 1976. I think it's 1978. Superman. Let me double check. Yeah, it's Adam the Woo doing filming locations in New York City of Superman, 1978, Richard Donner's. cult classic. Well, it's not a cult classic. It's just a film classic. I guess you could probably call that film maybe a cult classic. I don't know. It's a classic. It's a 1978 Superman with Christopher Reeves, who died of complications due to an injury he had falling off a horse, equestrian. It was an equestrian obstacle course for a horse, and it jumped up to leap over this obstacle course gate thing, like a fence. He fell backwards and broke his neck. I think he broke his number 1 spine part and went right into complete a mess. He became a mess. They had to put him on an oxygen machine. He was paralyzed from the waist down. Or no, I'm sorry. He was paralyzed from the neck down. He could not feel from the neck down, pretty much, for the remaining part of his life. And he still continued to act and direct and did an Alfred Hitchcock remake of Rear Window. But he's doing the filming location. You ate all of that so quickly, Kitty. He's doing the filming location of 1978 Richard Donner's Superman in New York City right now as well. He probably finished it up. So I'm going to watch it tonight. He's always a day ahead. We're always a day behind. No, Kitty, you're on a diet. And I've been counting my calories today. So the bench hit me right this way. And that's what it looks like now. So if I were to jog on it for 2 hours or for an hour, it would get a little bit inflamed. You can still hear it. I can still feel, I'm older though. I'm almost 50. This is the other knee. So if you compare the two knees. Look at my knees, Kitty. Look at my knees, Kitty. From that Eraserhead. Look at my knees. Kitty. Look at my knees. Look at my knees. Look at my knees. Look at my knees, Kitty. Look. Look at my knees. Anyway, this one will click. And I can feel the tightness all through here. So, I'm still able, I can still jog. I can still jog around. But it's just going to be tight for a while. It's going to be hard. I'm going on one tomorrow, though, for sure. So, getting up. And I'm going to do a regular routine, which is 5.3 miles. I'm going to keep it at that. Maybe God's trying to discipline me. I can still kind of move here. It's just a little, it's not clicking as much. But I can feel, like right here, And what I feel some pain right here. Let me show you. Feel some pain like right here. Look at my tan legs. And no pain here, so this one's fine. Although, I do have, that's funny. This taco sauce got stuck right here. I do have pain here sometimes when I start to jog a lot. This ankle was broken in 3 different places. It was bent, spiral fracture. Here is the actual, that's the pressure knot. So this ankle was broken when I was 15. It was broken and then bent. And it was a bone that was bent, a bone that was broken, and it was spiral fracture. So it went this way. I'll have pain here and up in here if I jog too much. The tendon all here, and I had a cast all the way up to here when I was 15. Then I had a cast from my knee down for 6 months, and a cast up here for 6 months. So it was a cast for almost a year. Had to relearn to walk and everything. It was pretty tough. This one, the bench hit me about right here. It just pressed in like really hard. If you ever want to like Tanya Harding, if you want to ruin a skater, you just go up there with a little metal thing and boom, hit their knee like right there, right in the center. You ruin their whole career, or at least for that year until they get therapy. It messes with what is known as the ACL. There was a blonde waitress that was serving me chips. It was the second time I was waiting there. I just got an order off the runner app. I jumped up, walked over there, and bam, it hit me right in the knee. About this level high, a little bit lower. It was a bench from a picnic table. on their outside. And I'm always asked to sit on the larger tables on the outside. Even the manager had come up there one time. I always asked to sit on the tall tables, and they put me right by a family that was coming in and having a reunion, and boom, right there. And then they were like pigging their face with chips. That happens. Good night. Okay. Began to write the next 2 scenes, which are going to be 1 and 2. We got 1 here. We got 2 right here. And right when I did that, it began to rain outside. So I may have it rain, so just give me a moment. And it's still Saturday night. I'm working on the note card for the next scene for Skinny Pete and Friends. I'm gonna give you some rain action here, not terribly hard. And then I'm gonna finish up that scene. So I'm gonna let this stew. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 note cards. Okay, these are just note cards. So interior is gonna be Sandia Peak Tramway, cloud cover. Kim Wexler stands and looks through the train window at the passing mountain below. Skinny Pete and Badger stand near the rear of the tram, thumbing on iPhones, 14 Pros. They are the only ones on the train. Skinny Pete says, looks like rain. Interior 10-3, morning. Sunrise over Albuquerque. Rain. Kim Wexler walks in with Skinny Pete and Badger. 10-3 is a restaurant. Jimmy McGill sits alone near the window staring at Albuquerque. Kim approaches. It begins raining outside, mist from the mountain. We're still in the interior of the restaurant on the mountain. It's the 3rd scene. Rainy morning. Kim sits at the table. Kim Wexler. Hey, stranger. Jimmy McGill. Kim Wexler. They hug. Jimmy says, long time no see. Kim says, you look tired. Jimmy says, prison does that. Kim says, prison is rough. My pill worked. Jimmy says, yes, it did. Raining out. Waitress approaches. I just put waiter. Anything to drink? Jimmy says, 7-Up. Waiter says, we only have Sprite. A tear falls down Jimmy's cheek. Jimmy says, Sprite. Cut to